What's up, party people? Welcome to the Angela Ray Show. I hope that you all have had a great week. We are halfway through to the weekend, and I think that right about now, most of us around the United States are in the real fall. What do I mean by the real fall? Especially in the South, about 2 weeks ago, we had some lows of like 55 degrees. It was a sunny 70 degrees during the day, and it was like that was the fake fall because the 80s and the 90s soon return. But I think that finally, we are in the real fall. For everyone who will be catching the broadcast tonight, if you catch the broadcast at any time during, after the broadcast, just make sure that you put in the comments hashtag replay. Would love to connect with you and read those comments about the show tonight after we are done. For those of you who will be joining the broadcast live, you know what to do. Go ahead and slide in the comments and let me know how you are doing. Like, no, for real. Like, let me know how you are doing. I had an opportunity to MC an event for a corporate entity today, and that was part of the activity was how are you doing? And so often we are just programmed to be like, oh, I'm fine. How are you? It just comes out. But oftentimes we're not fine. And, just like that saying goes, it is okay to not be okay. Well, you know how we do it. We start it off with our ray of motivation moment. And for tonight's ray of motivation moment, this one is coming from one of my, I call her a friend in my head, but definitely one of my very pioneering sorority sisters, the trendy socialite, Adia Rogers. And she says, chase purpose and provision will find you. Chase purpose and provision will find you. So often there are times that we get that backwards. And I understand sometimes you are looking for provision because that is what you need. Maybe you're in a dire situation. Bills are piling up. You don't know how you are going to get from point A to point B, and point A to point B may not even be that far. So oftentimes you feel like you gotta have that provision. But in terms of long-term goals, in terms of building dreams, in terms of building the next, you want to make sure that you are operating in your purpose. And when you are pursuing your purpose and when you are doing it passionately, that provision will definitely show up. I've seen it happen again and again. And that is today's ray of motivation moment. Well, I'm really excited to continue my series tonight, celebrating National Arts and Humanities Month. Last week, we had a visual artist, and tonight we will have a performing artist. But just want to remind you, if you are not a part of the A-list, you want to make sure that you join. We will be giving away free prizes, backstage access to some of our guests, exclusive discounts just for you who are on the A list. How do you join the A list? Send an email to the A list at Angela Ray TV. Again, that's an email to the A list at Angela Ray TV. And today is a very special day. There are so many people celebrating birthdays. Pastor Shirley Caesar, the actress, my guest for my 100th episode, Takia Crystal Kama. But the person who's celebrating the birthday that really, really, really has a special place in my heart, my mother and her twin brother, as a matter of fact. So happy birthday, Mom, and happy birthday, Unc. All right, so it is time to welcome my guest. She is affectionately known as the bald beauty queen of self-esteem. However, she is moved beyond just being a beauty queen, and that she is a singer, she is an actress, she is a motivational speaker, and she is also a podcast host. So please help me welcome Sandra Dubose. Sandra, thank you so much for being on the Angela Ray Show tonight. How are you, darling?
Hi, sweetie. How you doing today?
I am doing good. It's so great to see you. I don't think I've had an opportunity to see you in person since I saw your riveting performance at the National Black Theater Festival back in 2019. So, what has been keeping you busy since then and then throughout the pandemic?
Well, first of all, let me just say thank you for having me on as a guest. It's such an honor to be on the Angela Ray Show. And I would be remiss if I did not wish your beautiful mother a happy birthday to your mother. and to your uncle as well. So family comes first. So shout out to your mama and to your uncle on their birthday.
Thank
Um,
you.
it's always a pleasure to share time and space with you, sis. And so, yes, the last time we did get to see each other was the National Black Theater Festival. And since that time, I've been in a pandemic. How about you?
How about that? Okay. How about
Yeah,
that?
yeah, I've been a little locked up like everybody else. But just like yourself, we find new ways to stay connected to our audience, to continue with the assignment of our purpose, to use our creative gifts in whichever way that we can, to use our voice, whether we're singing or on stage or doing a podcast or hosting a show like yourself. So, for me, it's really been about keeping myself, like everyone else, mentally sane during these crazy times that we're in right now. So a lot of self-care, and sometimes that looks like stepping back a little bit, and it's really okay. Especially the pandemic said that we was going to sit down regardless, so I have no choice. So, you sit around and then you have to really kind of think about, how do I pivot, right, in my business? What do I do? How do I keep it moving? So for me, there's been wonderful opportunities to collaborate with fellow artists and do some performing now that we can kind of come back outside and play and all vaccinated and all of that, to do it safely. And starting a podcast is the way that I've kept it going. That's what I've been working on.
Now, I want to take a step back. In 2011, you made history
Yeah.
when you became North Carolina's first bald beauty queen. What was that moment like for you?
Um, it was really exciting and just surprising. I didn't I didn't expect that I would necessarily win. I mean, we all want to win, but it wasn't so much about the win. Sometimes it's just about the journey, right? They always talk about, it's about the journey, not necessarily the destination. So for
Hmm.
me, competing and presenting my platform boldly and unapologetically, representing women who are living with hair loss, whether it be through alopecia or chemo or whatever illness or what have you. That was the win. It was being bold enough to step up and to stand amongst the other women with hair and to say, I deserve to be on this stage. I too am beautiful, and it's okay to look different. This is what my beauty looks like. And so that was really the win. So it was an extra special reward for me to actually be awarded, be crowned Mrs. Black North Carolina. And then everything that came outside of that, right? Just, you never know what God has in store for you when you say yes, when you take on the mantle to say, I'm going to come outside of my comfort zone. I'm going to do something that is bigger than me. My why is for all of the people that are watching me, and to see how God blesses that and put me in a position where I actually made history. So it's one of the things in my life that I'm most proud of. I celebrated 10 years of that this year, but there's so much more ahead, more new records to break, no, more new legacies to create that I'm excited about.
So, when did you discover your love of performing?
Wow. I mean, as ever since I was a little girl, I mean, I can't even put an age on it, because it's always been, singing has always been my passion, my love of music. So really, I grew up in church, Christian church, Pentecostal actually. So yes, we was deep all up in that. Okay.
Oh yeah, so you
Um,
you you know how to get your shout and your praise on, okay?
Child, listen, and if I had hair, I'd have me a little doily on right now, okay? And a long skirt and some long sleeves, no
Right.
earrings, no makeup, the whole nine. So that was how, my childhood looked, very, very steep, deeply in the Pentecostal religion. But my parents still allowed me to perform when I was in school. So really in elementary school is when I cut my teeth, if you will. In the Glee Club, we sang the little Christmas songs, and I got to shake a tail feather at the talent show and sing some secular music. So I've always been singing and introduced to musical theater ever since I was in elementary school. And like I said, even though we were very religious, my parents did still allow me to explore that part of myself. I'm so glad they did.
Now you said something. You just said you still, shake a little tail feather. And as soon as you said that, and you mentioning your background, I was like, so were you one of those who was going to the church like a young Tina Turner, and you supposed to
Really?
be singing in the choir, and you
Little
had
anime.
something like that?
I had my shoulders going, little anime. They was like, sit down, girl. You know what? You know what's really funny is that I didn't actually do a lot of singing in church, right? Because this particular church that we went to didn't really have a strong children's ministry. Now, mind you, I'm 47 years old, right? So today, a lot of churches are very progressive and they put a lot of attention strategically to make sure that their children's ministry is vibrant and that the children feel engaged and all that. But I grew up in a very old school Pentecostal storefront church where the children sat next to their mama and I just kind of took a nap on her lap. So I wasn't really that involved in terms of the singing because I wasn't really old enough so much. So I didn't do a whole lot of singing in church. It was really outside of church. But that gospel music is really my roots. I was singing in my seat, but that whole thing.
And so you're a singer, but
Yeah.
you're also an actress. So when
Yeah.
did you make that transition to not just performing musically, but also acting wise?
I have to, honestly, I have to account my English teachers in middle school who at that time, I grew up in New York City. I'm from the Bronx originally. And at that time, they had a lot of arts programs, the arts in schools and stuff like that. So growing up in the city, we had access to Broadway, all these plays, and so they would do this in connection with our English class. So I was like in an honors English class, and we had this whole Shakespeare that we were learning, and so they took us to a Shakespeare play, and then part of the assignment was that we had to put on a Shakespearean play in class, and so that was my first introduction where I was Catherine from The Taming of the Shrew.
Okay.
And right. And so I had no idea that I it was something that I was good at. It was my English teacher that was like, oh no, Miss Catherine, you got something here. And I'm like, no, I'm a singer. She's like, no, you're an actress. Like you've got this thing. And so when it was time to go to high school, I wanted to audition for LaGuardia High School for the performing arts in Manhattan. And she said, you should audition for both. Don't just audition for vocal, audition for drama. And I'm like, but I don't want to do drama. I want to sing. And it's like she could see what I couldn't see. And the irony is that I didn't get accepted for vocal. I got accepted for drama. And so I was a drama major in high school. And so I got to really delve into theater and, evolve as a thespian and all of those things. And so and it's funny how that kind of led itself to now being a motivational speaker and all of it, everything is being, he uses it all for our good, and to see how it all came together in the work that I do today makes sense.
Now, which one of these mediums, if you will, do
Mhm.
you enjoy the most? Is it the singing? Is it the motivational speaking? Or is it the acting?
That's not fair. It's not
Yes, it is, because
fair.
I get asked that all the time. So I'm gonna ask you, since I'm on this side of the mic, it's fair.
Fine,
I'm gonna ask
fine,
you.
fine, fine, fine. Okay, here's what I can say. Here's what I can say. What's easiest is motivational speaking.
Okay.
When I say easy, I'm talking about less nerves. So, yes, I love to sing, but the reality of it is when it's time to perform vocally, it's nerve-wracking for me. My nerves are shot. Nobody would never think that, but I'm all in my head about the execution of the note. I hope my voice doesn't crack. Like all of these things, oh, I got to remember the words, like all of this, it takes more work for me to show up and to execute vocally because I'm so invested in making sure that it sounds great and all of that. Same thing with acting, where I want to remember the words. I want to remember my blocking. So it takes more work for me to really think about that. But when I'm motivational speaking, I'm just being Sandra Dubose. I'm speaking from my heart. I'm telling you what I know for sure. I'm passionate about it because I only speak about those things that I know. I'm not just telling you something I read. I'm speaking from when I'm empowering women and I'm talking about self-esteem, I'm sharing my story and what I've been through. I don't have to think about that. I don't even have to prepare. You give me the mic, you give me an open heart, and I'm ready to pour in. I'm just excited. So when it's time to show up, all I feel is the joy and the excitement. Like, yes, let's go get it. Let me talk to these people, which is a very different feeling from when I'm backstage and my knees are knocking because I have to go sing or act.
You
So
know, I've never heard New York out of you until I just heard you say, I'm going to talk. I have never known. I
are you
never would have
serious?
known. I've never heard New York until right then. I was like, okay, there it is. She said, I'm going to go talk to him. I have a girlfriend from the
What?
Bronx, and yeah, she has not lost that accent. It's, and she always like, quit picking on me. But yeah, it just slipped
I
out
guess
right? Just a little
if
bit.
you heard if you heard me fussing and really getting like, yo, what's up? Like if I'm angry, then you'd be like, okay, New York, okay, calm down, calm down. But when I'm in a good mood, you get my little Southern belle, my little sweet Southern accent. That's what I'm giving out.
Okay. Now, you've done all kinds of plays,
Yeah.
and if you were to pick one role
Hmm.
after leaving the performing arts high school that just really either was a pivotal moment for you as an actor or changed you, what role would that be?
Oh God, you are driving me crazy.
Take your thing.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Okay, can I get to this two of them?
Yeah, we do too.
Okay, yay, thank you. So there's two of them. So my favorite dream role was when I played Suge Avery in The Color Purple.
Oh
So
yeah.
I mean, come on, what we talking about? We talking about Suge Avery. I mean, it
Yeah.
doesn't get any much funner than to be Suge Avery and smoking a cigarette and kissing a girl. It wasn't a real kiss though. It was a fake kiss. It was like right here. But it looked like it was a real kiss. You know what I mean? So I mean, just that was such because it's one of my all-time favorite movies, and I have so much respect for the actors in the film. So to be able to have a little touch of it, to put my own little expression of what Suge Avery looks like and feels like on me. So that was definitely one of those roles that was like you go to the bucket list and you check it off like, yeah, we did that one. But the other role that I absolutely loved was a play that I did that's called Soul Man, which was produced by Lavi Mahab. And I got to play a character called Lady Dee Dee. Now, I have to say, it was a musical, and I love this play because I was the leading lady, and I had all of these beautiful soul men, these beautiful chocolate men, and all of them were serenading me. So, I
What's
mean,
the name
how
of that
much?
play? I need to audition for that. What was that now? What's that
Yes,
called?
it's called
Soul
it's
Man.
called
Soul Man.
it's
Get my
called
agent on
Soul.
that. Let me get my agent
Yes,
on that.
it's
Okay.
yes, girl, you will love it. It's called Soul Man. So we had so many wonderful, just these beautiful spirited men that could sing. Um, Gerard, I can't, oh God, I'm Gerard Williams. I mean, but they were singing like old classics, like Sam Cooke, "You Send Me," and I mean, just all this deliciousness. So it was like they were all pining after me, and it was just fun. And then I got to do my little I was doing my little Tina Turner, and I had on a wig and this shimmy dress and Mustang Sally and be like this really like do this like dance to it. It was just out of the box, out of my comfort zone. The kind of stuff we do in our bedroom when nobody's looking. I got to do it in public.
Okay. Okay. All right now.
Well, not
Now,
not all of that. Like you know what I'm saying.
I got you. I follow you. I
Okay.
follow you.
Okay.
I follow you.
Good. That
So,
part.
a little bit earlier, you were mentioning that you started a podcast. And so, we have a question from one of our very loyal viewers, Edwin,
Okay.
wants to know And looks like I thought the question was going to pop up. Oh, there we goes. What was the catalyst for your podcast?
The catalyst for my podcast was the fact that we need to have a certain level of conversation as grown folk, right? So I have wonderful sisters in my sister circle, and I have wonderful friendships with men, and I get the opportunity to have these really engaging, deep conversations about grown folk stuff, whether it's parenting, and the intricacies of parenting in 2021 with teenagers, etc., whether it is relationships like going through divorce, dating after divorce, like in your 40s, like there's so many great things. And I really wanted to be able to extend that level of conversation out to the people, because it's just healthy dialogue that we really need to have. And I find a lot of the content that we find, especially on social media, we take in so much junk, or people are just like, into the whole what the celebrities are doing, and our thoughts about why she got that on or who she's dating. And I have to say, Sandra Dubose could care less about any of that, because I have enough on my own plate as a grown woman adulting, that I'm trying to figure out what I'm trying to do, how I'm gonna raise these girls, how do I, get my life to look the way it needs to look. And those are the kind of conversations that I want to be able to have with other woke adults who are just as invested in their personal growth as I am. And so, why not be the catalyst to create an opportunity for us to have those conversations? Let's bring it to the table. Let's parlay. Let's talk about it. And that's what the Urban Parlay is really all about.
Okay, so we have another question from Edwin, and that is, you mentioned being from the Bronx and the love of
Yeah,
Broadway. Are you
yeah, bro.
enjoying that shows are coming back and that they have people of color?
Yes, come on now. And I will be there with all of my bald glory watching. And I mean, it's just, I think that people really got to see the value of Broadway when it was shut down, and the energy that that brings to New York City. Like, what is Times Square? What is New York City without Broadway, without the artists, and an opportunity to go into one of those theaters and just escape for a couple of hours into a whole new world, and to see people performing with voices and just incredibly talented people. I think we've all missed it, and so we have to rally behind, and let's get back to life. Thank you, Edwin, for that question. Yeah, let's do
Now,
it.
Edwin wants to know if you can sing a little bit of Push the Button
Do you
from
know
the
Edwin? Edwin, do I know you or something? did you did you put Edwin up to this? Are you
I
paying
did not.
Edwin?
I did not.
um, Goodness. Yes, I can sing for Edwin. Thank you, Edwin, for being here, my one audience member. I appreciate you. um, Goodness gracious. Now I'm like, what are the words? Um, mm-mm. What's the words, Edwin? Lord have mercy. Now there's something about good loving that all you ladies should know. If you want to light your man on fire, you gotta start it real slow. Keep on turning up the voltage till that man begin to glow, like you're switching on a light bulb. Watch the juice begin to flow.
All right
As for you,
now.
Edwin, we watching the juice begin to flow, but that's after hours.
All
But
right.
anyway.
Oh man. That is what you call a professional who can, be put on the spot. Okay. Think about, okay, well, what are the lyrics? Well, what part of this am I going to sing? And then just
Yeah.
go for it. Because, we all know those people who sound really good on a CD and in the
Yeah.
studio after, it's been, for lack of a better term,
Produced.
doctored up. But
Yes.
they'll not ask them to say anything or sing anything on the spot. It's not going to happen. It's not going to sound the same either. So
Right, right.
definitely the mark of a true professional. So
Thank
thank you
you. Thank
for
you, and thank you,
blessing
Edwin.
us with that. Yeah, and Edwin just commented that that was beautiful.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
So looking ahead down the road, is there a dream opportunity that you would like to have, whether that is a dream interview for your
Yeah.
podcast, a
Hmm.
dream role as an actress, or a dream producer or collaborator to create music?
Hmm. You killing me with these questions. I'm loving them. You know what my dream is? My dream is to do a one-woman show. And it's not just a dream, it will be my reality. It is the thing that I am working on. It's the full expression. Like you said, I do a lot of different things. I love to be able to sing and act and the motivating and all of those things. And I want to be able to bring them all together into one beautiful. I'm also an author. And so I want to be able to write a beautiful body of work, which will be another legacy for me and a very personal piece of work that I am going to give birth to. And so that one woman show, the Sandra Dubose experience, that I get to really unleash all that I am without holding back, without apology, but giving it all up. Let God get all the glory. We're gonna go in and give it everything, all the accents and characters, all of it. Where, sometimes as an actor, you're too big and people are like, whoa, you're a lot. You feel like you have to kind of bring it in a little bit, but having the stage where all of those parts of me get an opportunity to live and to express it in a way that will really bless the world. So that's really the goal. That's the dream.
Now, if there's someone watching who may be interested in the performing arts, October, there are a lot of things that we acknowledge in October. I think one that is very top of mind is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. I lost my only sister to breast cancer, so that one is always top of mind for me. Also,
Right.
it is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. There are just so many things, but when I start thinking about the pandemic,
Yeah.
obviously, our frontline workers, particularly those in healthcare, really were the heroes of 2020. But
Yeah.
I think some of the I won't call them frontline workers, but those people who helped us get through were many artists because we were home, we were watching television, we were
Yeah.
streaming movies, we were listening to music. And so, with October being National Arts and Humanities Month, I wanted to just bring on a few different disciplines in the arts and humanity just to explore some of these conversations. So, if there is someone watching who maybe has an interest in the performing arts, what is one piece of advice that you would give?
I would say don't give up. Keep the dream alive and find. Here's the thing. It doesn't have. You don't have to pack up and move to Hollywood and just say, I'm going to start a new life. And, and just, I'm going to audition and wait to make it big. Do the thing that God has given you to do, right? And despise not small beginnings because, like I said before, it's the journey, it's not the destination anyway. It's who you're becoming, it's the exercise of just being able to do what you love. So, if you want to be an actor, you can do community theater. It's a place to cut your teeth and just kind of be your own little Denzel Washington right within your backyard. One woman told me, become a local celebrity, a celebrity right within your own backyard. Don't worry about Hollywood or the big. If it gets to there, that's fantastic. But a small percentage of artists really make it to the level that they've really dreamed of. But that doesn't mean that you still can't have success. So whatever it is, if you want to sing, go sing on a choir or go sing, whatever, glee club like I did. Whatever it is, there's meetups. Find your way. Go start with karaoke. You just have to find your way in to give energy to that part of you that's calling, and the rest will follow as the more work begets work. So the more you do it, and people see you, the more opportunities will come, and you'll have an opportunity to hone your craft. And guess what? You'll be having a hella good time the whole way. Don't worry about the destination. Just enjoy the journey and give that to yourself.
One final question from Edwin. Do your children
Edwin.
show any musical or artistic talent?
Yeah, Edwin, I love you. I don't know who you are, but thank you so much for playing with me tonight. So yes, my children both can sing, but here's the thing: they don't have a desire to do it professionally. So my oldest daughter wants to go into healthcare. My youngest daughter, she's just 19, so she's still deciding who she is. I mean, she has so many wonderful talents, and so it's just about helping her to figure out which one she wants to explore first. But they're super supportive of their mom. Um, but yeah, it's just me singing alone up in here. But my girls always they got my back, so they can if they wanted to, but it's not their passion like it is mine, and that's okay. That's okay.
Well, that is a great note to end on, Sandra. It is so great catching up with you. You
You too.
mentioned your podcast. Please
Yes.
let everyone know how they can find your podcast.
Yes, please. So it is the Urban Parlay podcast, and it is available on all streaming platforms. And I also have it, some of those interviews on my YouTube channel. So I've had some really exciting interviews like Angela Ray has, and I put those specifically on YouTube so people can watch and see those people that I've spoken to. So, and if you want to stay in contact with me, you can stay connected with me on Facebook and Instagram at Bald Beauty Queen. So stay connected. There's always great new projects happening.
And I do have your Instagram scrolling at the bottom of the screen. So that is also her Facebook page as well.
Yes.
Again, Sandra,
Mhm.
great catching up with you. Thank you so much for coming through for National Arts and Humanities Month. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you so much. And best of luck. Many blessings to you and all of your endeavors, sis. I'm really proud of you. Thanks for having me.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Well, that's it for tonight's Angela Ray Show. As always, I would like to remind you all of Ray of Motivation number 54. Cleaning a mirror does not change the person who is reflected in it. Until next time, I encourage you all to go out and be the change.